So good morning to all. So nowadays we are studying about open source software and free software and their license. So I already told that this chapter, cyber ethics chapter, is broadly divided into two sections. First one fully we studied about ethics and some digital property plagiarism and some security related things. So in the next section we already study some open source software and too many licenses like BSD, Apache, MIT, LGPL. So here today's class is like so there is so I need to wind up this chapter. So before that I will explain again the main concept of this chapter. So some topics are already missing while making the video. So here from we can start from here. So here up to from here the digital property rights. So that first section is over. Then here this is the second section, open source philosophy and software license. So first we need to study that what is the main difference between that free software and open source software. So this is one of the important questions. So every question paper this is continuously asking. So first we need to study open source software and free software. Simply you can understand that free software means free of cost. So no need to give any money to install the software. It is available in the public domain. So then one more word is there, public domain. Public domain means so it is accessible to anyone, which means that if you, for example, if you create one software, you just upload it to a public domain, so then anyone can install that software from that public domain. So this type of software is called free software. So free means free of cost, so no need to give any money. But we already studied that the softwares are made up of programming languages. So that language which is used to create a particular software, it is called a source code of the software, source code. So in the case of free software, that source code is not available. Only it is free, no need to give any money, but the source code is not available. So we cannot edit, we cannot reconfigure, we cannot do any modification on that software. So this is the main things, three things related to free software, which means it is available in public domain, free of cost, no need to give any money, but the main thing, source code is not available. So that's why we cannot do any modification on that software. This is the only three things you need to study about free software. Second one, open source software. So here the name is there, open source means the source code is available, which means that software is created by one of the programming language, some codes, so that code is available to the user. So what is the advantage means, if the source code is available, then we can do the modification of that software, then we can reconfigure that software. So this is the main advantage of open source software. So on the other hand, we need to give the money. There is no free of cost. Open source software, it is not free of cost, we need to give some money. So some open source software it is available free, but most of the open source software we need to give the money. So free software means fully free. Open source software we need to give some money also. Then in free software, source code is not available. In open source software, the source code is available. So here then look at that, the main things are here. Look at that here, you need to study the main four things, four freedoms: freedom 0, freedom 1, freedom 2, freedom 3. It is related to what? Free software. So free software, first one, the freedom of run the program for any purpose, which means that if it is the free software, so you can run that program for any purpose. That is your freedom 0, first freedom. So freedom 1 means the freedom to study how the program work and adapt it your needs. Access to the source code is a precondition for this. So which means that you can study that how the program is working, so then according to your need. Then look at that, the last sentence, access to the source code is a precondition for this. So we already saw that free software is not, source code is not available, but in some preconditions we can give they can give the source code also. but we can study how the program is work. So free to run, free to study how the program is work. So the third one, the freedom to redistribute, which means that if you already download one software, so you can give the copy to your friends. That is called a redistribution. So that is a freedom number 2. So freedom 0, freedom 1, freedom 2. Then freedom to improve the program and the release your improvement in the public so that the whole community benefits. So you can improve that program, then you can distribute that program. So there is also one precondition is there, access to the source code. So the access to the source code, if the source code is available, then only we can improve that program. So there is also a precondition. So here in the second and fourth point there should be a precondition is there. So freedom 0, freedom 1, freedom 2, freedom 3 are important freedom related to free software. So then we next open source. We already studied open source. It is do not have to free of charge. That is important. Does not have to be free of charge, which means we need to give some money. Open source, the source code is available. The source code is freely available to the customer. So hope you understand the free software and open source software. So this is the main things. First we need to study free software and open source software and the 4 different freedom related to free software. So next we study that what philosophy of open source software. We already studied that what this free distribution, source code, derived work, integrity of other source code. So which means that the same thing. Philosophy of open source means open source, you know that open source we already studied that source code is available. So if the source code is available, we can edit on that software. The first one got free distribution. Free distribution means what? You can edit that software and you can redistribute that software. Then source code is available and must allow the distribution of source code as well as copied form. So you can distribute the source code. Then derived work means if you do any modification on that source code, that is also you can distribute. Then integrity of the other source code. Integrity of the source code must be maintained, which means that if you add any modification to the existing software, means the source code is created by one author, so that integrity you should be maintained. So if you modify anything, that can be released on another version, not the old version. Okay, that is. So modification should be carry a different name or a version from that original software. For example, there is a software X. So if you change some part of that software, then that software is again released on another name, software Y. So with that, we cannot that redistribute software with that original name. So that is called integrity of the other source code. So there are too many philosophies there. Then that is we already study some definitions are there. Here we need to study some definitions are there. First one, OSS means some simply but open source software. So open source software, you need to study that which refers to software which whose source code is available. So you already study that. And the customers, and it can be modified and redistributed without any limitations. Then next one, FLOSS. So in this area questions are coming like they are giving the abbreviation like OSS, FSF, OSI, freeware. You need to write the definitions. So FLOSS means free, libre and open source software. Free, libre and open source software means the software which is both free as well as open source software. Free and open source software, both free and open source software. One of the example is Linux. We know Linux operating system. We can available, it is free, and at the same time we can get the source code also. So such a type of software is called FLOSS, free, libre and open source software. Then GNU full form important. GNU full form means GNU is not Linux, GNU is not Unix. That is a full form of GNU. G means GNU, N means not, U means Unix. GNU is not Unix. So this is only a project only, GNU. So GNU project embraces the freedom. So Richard Stallman, you need to study one person, Richard M. Stallman. So for example, in the past for 20 or 30 years before, there is no open source software. So if you want any software, we need to give them money. So that time one movement is there, free software movement. So there is look at that, the next one, it is clearly that FSF, Free Software Foundation, means Richard Stallman. So Richard Stallman only give the idea like so create the software and it is put it on the public domain, so everyone can take that software from that public domain. So this is an idea only. So GNU and GNU is a type of only project only. Then FS, a Free Software Foundation. So it is a non-profitable organization created and supported by software movement, which means it is a free software foundation means so anybody can create the free software and put it on this domain. So anyone can take that software from here. So next one, open source initiative. So OSI, open source initiative. Then freeware. So you need to just study the definitions only. Freeware means it is generally used for software which is available free of cost and which allows the copying and further distribution, but no modification and whose source code is not available. So this is you need to study. Important things is freeware means it is available free of cost and which allows copying and further distribution. So you can copy and you can distribution, but no modification, not modification of source code is not available. Source code is not available. That is called free software. It is available free of cost. You can copy, you can redistribute, but modification not available because source code is not available. So it is called freeware. The next one, W3C. W3C means a World Web Consortium. Also it is also a standard only. It is a software standard for WWW, World Web. So here it is the W3C is described as below. Here W3's consortium exists on the realized full potential on the web. It is seeks the promote to standard the evolution of web, and so it is nothing but it is a standard used for WWW. Then one, proprietary software. Proprietary software means it is this is important. Proprietary software is neither open or nor freely. So such a software that is neither open nor freely, this is called a proprietary software. So it is used to regulate the further distribution and modification is either forbidden or require a special permission from the supplier or the vendor. So which means that it is not free, it is neither open but nor freely available. So here redistribution and modification is forbidden, which means that if you want to redistribute and if you want to modification, there is a special permission from the real owner, it is needed. Source code of the proprietary software is normally not available. So if you want that software for modification, there is a special permission is needed, that is called a proprietary software. So here you need to write on a book like that, proprietary software, free software, open source software, then FLO is a free, libre and open source software. So main definition you need to write on the book. So next one is shareware. Shareware means shareware is software which is made available to the right to redistribute the copy, but it is stipulated one of these extends after the certain period of time license to be freed. So shareware means, for example, simply I explain, you can download it is freely. So for example 1 or 2 months you can use it freely. So after some month we need to pay some money for the further use, so that is written here. For example, but one of the intended software is often after a certain period of time the license fee should be paid. So first means initially it is available freely, but after the using for 2-3 months they will ask one key means we need to pay, then only we need to get that key for further use. So shareware is not same as free and the open source software. FOSS you already study, free and open source software. The main difference, so shareware is not same as free and open source software. What is why means there is two reasons are there. The source code is not available for shareware, source code is not available, then the modification of the softwares are not available, but it is both done in the case of free and open source software. In FOSS it is both two cases are done because source code is available and modifications are possible, but in the case of shareware source code is not available and modification not possible. So this is the main difference between shareware and FOSS. So every time questions are coming like this. So next one, last important topic is copyleft. Copyleft. Copyright we'll study. Copyright means the author, the original user give the more right to that particular software. So such a type of software is called copyright. So copyleft means it's opposite only. Copyleft means there is no rule is attached with that particular software. So such a type of software is called copyleft. So copyleft software is a free software whose distribution teams ensure that all the copies, all the version carry more or less in the same distribution terms. So such a type of software is called copyleft software. So in this chapter you need to, I already told that copyleft, shareware, FLOSS, free software, then open source software. You need to write the definition of all. So then license, we already studied that too many license: GNU license, BSD license, Apache license, LGPL, GPL. You already studied that. Then this figure is also explained. So here the categories and domains, mainly it is free software and proprietary software. So here one dotted lines are indicated that public domain software under premises license, copyleft software under GPL, sharewares are in the same. So this figure is also important. Then freedom, so last important topic, freedom of information and digital divide. Freedom of information means, so anybody can take that. So freedom of information refers to the right to access to information available on public platforms, which means that in internet, if everything is available freely, so anyone can take that it is available freely. So but there is a concept is there, digital divide. So digital divide is nothing but you can simply study that digital divide means, for example, for those who are using the internet and those who are not using the internet, so the gap between them is called a digital divide. There is a division, there is a gap is there, those who are using internet, those who are not using internet, that is called a digital divide. So in India, some rural areas nowadays also there is too many problems, there's people are not using internet, so that is called a digital divide. So we are living in digital India, but in some India, in also some areas in rural villages, some people are not even using the internet also. So that is division is called a digital divide. So digital divide is because of mainly two reasons. So I already asked in one question in that your assignment, what is the two reason behind the digital divide. First one is called technological reach, second one is called digital literacy. Technological reach means that this is the main two reasons for digital divide. Technological reach means, so here look, so here in city area there is 4G, 3G, 5G. So more means bandwidths are available, so high speed internets are available, then smartphones are available, then two multiple connectivities are available. So technology, so but in some case, some areas there is no tower, there is no internet connection. So that's why some people are not using internet. So that is because of technological reach. Digital literacy means, so some people only know that how to use the internet. So nowadays we are using internet, so this generation not problem, but in the past generation they cannot know how to use the internet properly, so because of digital illiteracy. So they don't know how to use the internet. So because of these two problem, so lack of digital literacy and technological reach, the digital divides are happen. So this is the main two problems of digital divide. So this chapter is over. So this is the conclusion of this chapter. We already studied that what privacy we study, fraud we study, online fraud activity study, then secure data transmission we study, encryption, decryption, SSL, HTTPS we study, then IPR we study, plagiarism we study, then digital property right we study, what are the threats also, digital property rights, digital penetration tool we study, then we study open source software, free software, then the digital divide, like that. So this chapter important chapter. So maximum mark means more than 10 mark coming from this chapter, cyber ethics chapter. So hope you understand this chapter. So then you need to complete that book back questions. So I will show that. So here section B questions are important. Section B already give the answer is also here. Simple question, online fraud, privacy, here SSL, secure fraud, here intellectual property right. So you need to write this all the question answer to your notebook. So here also you need to find that answer. Section A, then here. So section C questions are important. Every time section C questions are important. So section C also you need to study, then you need to write these keywords. So here, because in this chapter, 1 mark more, 1 mark question from this area, so like these questions are accepted. So then this is here type a theoretical question. So this is almost we study, almost no, full we study. So try to solve this question also. So but you should write this already solved question. So then this also you need to try to solve, or you need to just mark on your book only, no need to write on the book. So hope you understand this chapter very well. Then next day onwards we can start the next chapter. Okay.